everybody, welcome back to Dead Car Rescue. We got some things to do to the Bronco. I'm gonna do them one piece at a time. I've got a list written on the windshield like those guys do on the big time TV shows. There's a little list of what I've got written down so far. You can see it's a little bit of everything. So if we scratch those off one at a time, we won't miss anything. If I think of anything else, I'll write it down. We'll just take it a step at a time. Okay, if you can see the exhaust up through there, I'm gonna have to turn that and come down right toward where my face is right now, or about where that hook is on that light. Here's the driver's side. That looks like that'll be fine. Muffler man can get to that one pretty easy. Okay, I took the manifold off of the Bronco. You can see you got a little piece of exhaust pipe sticking out here. We're gonna take this flange loose and clean it up a little bit and clean this piece of exhaust pipe. It's got a little bend to it, but we want to make it easy to get off and on when the muffler guy gets a hold of it. So we're going to take it apart, clean it up, have it ready to go so he won't break a bolt off or something like that. If we got a bolt that feels like it's going to break, we're going to heat it up, heat the nut up, and take it off and save the stud, okay? So I don't know if that's a 5/8. Yep, it is. And it's tight. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and heat it up with a torch, and that way these nuts will come off easy. Because if you try to do that like this, if you put a breaker bar on that or something like that to try to get it loose, it's gonna snap them off in the manifold. You don't want that. We're gonna try to save it. So let's get the torch going. Now I'm just heating the nut. Trying not to heat that stud, because if you heat the nut, it expands the nut and it makes it come off easier. Let's see if it works. Yep, we just need to do it some more. It's amazing what a little heat will do to an old rusted up bolt. That's the way you got to do it. And sometimes you can't get to those. Like if you haven't got the manifold off and you're trying to do it, you can't get to them real easy. There's the flange. And that's how this thing fits down on the flange, see? It's got this little ridge around it. And this is the part we're gonna have to weld to, like when he gets the exhaust pipe bent the way he wants it, he'll stick it up there and tack it, and then pull it down and weld it all the way around. I wish I had a rack. I'd do mufflers myself, but I don't. Someday I will. Someday. I like the way Ford made their flanges. 2 studs and a beveled piece to fit this onto. See? It just fits, and you can actually move it around before you tighten it down if you just need to tweak it a little bit one way or the other. But that works pretty good. We're also going to clean up where the exhaust gaskets go. These weren't cleaned up before. We're going to clean those up so it'll be a flat, smooth surface instead of having these little rough edges and stuff. There's bumps, and that is the old gasket sticking up. So we want to make it where we don't have any leaks. And we will do that with this right here. Okay, put my safety glasses on that I wear. All right, this is called anti-seize. If you guys haven't used any of it, I didn't use any of it for a long time. I just put oil on it, you know, and put my nuts on and whatever. But this stuff is pretty good. It does make a mess though. You can put it on your threads, on your whatever you're working on, lug nuts, whatever. But some people don't like to put this on lug nuts. But let me tell you this. Once you use this stuff, you're going to take it home with you. There you go. We're going to leave this in because we don't have a plug for it. It's for a newer model motor. It's a sensor. And we're going to just leave it in. Now I'm going to go over these with a file and kind of just make sure they're kind of flat, real lightly. I just want to see where the marks are. And that's not going to barely mark it. I can see where it's fairly flat. That's going to work. This manifold's done. I'm going to stick it back on and stick the bolts back in it. And Muffler Man will be the next person that works on this. Okay, you can see I got the power steering pump cleaned off a little bit. I don't know if that's the pump that goes on this Bronco, and I don't know if this is the bracket, but I got to drill a hole out, and I just did it. I drilled this hole out so this would fit down in there. Now I've got to drill this hole out, and I got to drill that hole out to accept this. And then we're going to try to stick it on there. We don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. We'll find out, and I'll let you know as soon as I start working there and trying to put it on. I'll show you. Well, I've got the power steering pump just sitting in there. The threads here are barely started. I was wanting to make sure that my water pump 2 bolts matched up. And then I've got to get the angle right on the belt that's going to the fan blades and to the crankshaft pulley. And then I'll probably have to make a spacer. I don't know how thick it's going to have to be right now. As you can see, it's going to have a spacer in order to work and to line up. So the first thing I'm going to do is get my belt situation right where I think it needs to be, and we can put the hoses on later. That you can see both of the hoses back there. And it's kind of a process of, yeah, it works, and then no, it don't work. Because once you get your bushing back there, once you get that bushing tight, the belt could be too far back or not far enough back. So you have to take your spacer and whittle it down a little bit and make it work. And then I'll just keep adjusting on it until I get it right. If that makes any sense, that's what I'm going to do. Try to get this power steering problem gone out of here. Okay, there it is. You didn't really want to see me putting this on there because this was one of those 50 cuss word power steering pumps. Now I still got to make this, the spacer, but I've got it exactly where I want it. I've got the hoses hooked up. Everything looks okay. We'll just see if it works. I hope it works and don't whine or nothing, or because it's got some dents on them. You can see them right there where people's prized on it, but I've seen a lot of them have dents and work fine. So the Bronco has power steering pump on it now, so I'll make that little bushing and then I'll tighten it all up. I'll be done with that. I can mark that off the windshield. Stay tuned for something else. Well, here we are down under. As you can see what I'm looking at when I'm looking at this Bronco from under the bottom. It's a pretty solid old truck. No rust, just crud. Now what I got to do is I got to take that line off that fuel pump. I'm going to run another line up here to this connection. I put 5 gallons of gas in it. No leaks nowhere until I started her up. And when I got the fuel pump working, I don't know what happened, but now there's a leak around the O-ring that holds the sending unit into the tank. This is an aftermarket tank. They bought it new, you can tell. They put it on, but there's gas all over my floor here. I'm done with that part until I can get the gas all drained out of it. When I get back from Pennsylvania, I will fix that. I think I can put a seal in it. This thing is not like the one we did on the LTD, where you tighten the ring up and holds the sending unit in. This one's got little clips, about 6 of them all the way around it. and they hold that thing in there. Just little tabs that hold it in here, here, here. And I've never seen nothing like that. But anyway, it's what I got. I got to get a coil hold down. I'm going to go to the parts store and get one of those. Have to get a have to get a air breather. I'm going to try to put this breather on there. That ought to look pretty good. The old Bronco one, that's not going to work. Not for that carburetor. But there's the old Bronco breather. So I'm going to have to use the aftermarket. I had this one laying around. I'm going to give it to the guy. I don't need it. I probably will never use it. That's about it, you know, as far as just working on this thing this week. I'm going to jump in the truck in the morning and I'm going to go to Pennsylvania. I've got a good load going up, and I'll get me something Tuesday coming back. I deliver Tuesday, by the way. Get me something Tuesday coming back, get home Thursday. Start working on this thing next Friday and maybe crank a video out of it driving and running. By the way, I got, the guy gave me the 8-track tape player radio thing that was in the back. He said, yeah, you can have that. He said, Daddy wants to keep his tape, though, his Elvis tape. That's fine. That's fine. But I'll get me some CCR and maybe a Johnny Cash. I can find these 8-track tapes at the rummage sale and flea markets and stuff. I just love them. I mean, that will really bring my Fairlane back to the old days to have that kind of music. Maybe I can find me some Craco speakers. I don't know. Stick them in the back there. That would be cool. But anyway, enough walking around this truck. Enough walking around the truck. I'm going to just say, I'm going to go get some parts, come back home, get some rest, get up in the morning, go to Pennsylvania. I'll be back Thursday and get the rest of this video cranked out. So I'll see y'all when I get back home from Pennsylvania. Bye-bye. Have a Happy New Year, by the way. It's going to be over by the time I post this. But have a Happy New Year, 2024. That's our year. You see the 69 LTD is loaded up. We've got it finished except for one brake line that we cannot find. And we are taking it back to the owner. The owner really doesn't have room for it. He has a cotton gin. He said he's got a storage building that he's going to put the thing in as soon as we get it back to him. But I don't have anywhere to put it. It's just in my way, and I need to work on some other stuff. I need to have the room under my carport to hold something else besides this. So I'm taking it back to him. I could have drove it, played with it, took it to car shows, but that's just not us. We're moving on to other things. Okay, the LTD's back home. He said, just park it out there. Flash is parking it for me. Now I'm going to show you what we're here to look at, but we're not going to be able to get it today because the guy that owns it is not here. But we got to move this stuff. But there she is. That was his grandmother's car. I'm going to say 76, 77 Malibu. It's a 6-cylinder, automatic. Every tire on it's flat. The hood is rusted. The hood is worthless. They was wanting to make a stock car out of it. You can see mice have chewed holes in the seat. If you can see that. This is a one-owner car. Trying to see if there's keys in the ignition. No, there's not. I don't even know if it's going to have keys to it. But that's it. That's what he said he wanted out of his way. He said he needed this space. 1998 is the last time it was tagged. That's a Chevrolet. No, Chevrolet. That's a Malibu. That tire does have some air in it. But the doors, last time we was here, okay, the doors are locked, so we're gonna have to get into it. Maybe he's got the keys. I do not know. I don't know what the miles is on it. I just know it's been here a long time. I'll try to raise the hood and show you what I'm talking about as far as the hinges. Of course, if I get it, I'm going to get it running. This will be a good one to make a video off of. Hopefully I can get it right. Well, the top's not rusted anywhere, but you can see that hood. It's in bad shape. And the paint actually looked good on this thing about 10 years ago. There wasn't none of this on here. I tried to get this car and couldn't at the time. But now he said it's all right. I want to kind of block the camera here for a second until I can get the hood open. Okay, look at the hinges. The hinges, the back of the hood is gone. Six-cylinder, it's all there. Everything just the way it came out. Fan belts, air conditioning, all that stuff is still on it. It's making rust. But you can find another hood for these. The rest of it looks pretty decent. But we'll see. We'll let you know when he lets us know, and like we'll move this stuff. I'm sure a tractor push this out of the way. I'm sure every brake on that thing's locked up. We don't know. There it is, an upcoming video. It does say Chevelle. Chevrolet, Chevelle. It says Malibu on the fender. Talk to you more about that when we find out. Bye for now. Okay, everybody, I hope you didn't mind that little bit of footage of me taking the LTD home and also showing you a car that I'm going to pick up when I get back from Pennsylvania. That's going to be a project I'm going to have upcoming, and I'm going to go ahead and get it. I can get it while I can. So I just thought you might be interested in seeing that thing the way it's set all these years, that Malibu. And bye-bye to the LTD. The guy is going to probably put it back in a barn, a closed up barn, and it's going to sit there and rot again. I don't know. But maybe in 10 years, I'll be 78. Maybe I can redo it again and put it on video. But good luck to him, whatever he does with it. If he does decide to sell it, I will put it on my video so you guys can wheel and deal with him. So we'll just leave it up to him. He might say, okay, here's what I got to have for it. If anybody wants it, first one that shows up with the money gets it. That's what he will. He's the type of guy that does it, a deal like that. So thanks, guys, for watching. Have a safe new year, and I'll see you in 2024.